support of the Northwest Grocers Association. I'm not quite sure why. And it seemed to be even more concerned than about any of us, because when you take them, you add up all the nickels, and so what I did is I took the data from the Northwest Grocers Association, and I figured out times the nickel times the cost over the year per number of stores, and I got over $300,000 a year. Okay. And that was just for the Northwest Grocers Association stores, not any other stores. So that doesn't include all the small businesses. It doesn't include TJ Maxx or Weimart or Kmart or any of those. The actual fee and cost of this ordinance is going to be probably close to $500,000 a year. Now the city council wants money for taxes. And boy, what could they do if they took and said, we're not going to give it to the Grocers Association who wanted it for profit, and they stated that they wanted it for profit, because in their testimony before the city council it says, we will not support any option of this ordinance that does not include a fee. Okay, so they're not interested in the environment. Yeah. So then you go to recycling. Sierra Club and several other of the organizations totally oppose recycling, the discussion of any recycling. Okay? You go, what? Sierra Club doesn't want recycling? They have letters where they send in saying, no, recycling is a waste of time. There's no end product. There's no place for us to sell it, and if we do sell it, it's to China. All of a sudden, they're against China. So, what's interesting is that there is recycling. The bag makers will buy back the bags. We have not developed the recycling program, and that's why it's not happening. There's no reason why it can't be. Okay? One of the things they said is it clogs machinery. Some of the latest new machinery allows for that and can blow it out of the system. But it probably will have to have a system that's separate, like glass. There'll be something different. And maybe even in your glass container, you're taking all the stuff, all the bags, and throw it in and throw a bottle in with them and weight them down. But they're definitely recyclable. But if you look at the ones that they're requiring us to use, most of those are coming from China. When I went through and I surveyed the stores, I found 100% from outside the country. I had majority with China, Philippines, and Thailand or Vietnam. So all of them are coming, and they're all being shipped by container ship. And one of the things in their report is that one of the biggest polluters of marine life is container ships.
Yeah, it's all circular thinking, right?
Yeah, and so they're all, it's contributing to that side of the problem. But to make a long story short, what I found is that the city council does not want to open up the discussion. They will listen to the business side of it, even though they're not concerned that they're creating a disadvantage to the local businesses, because the big stores can buy in volume and buy these bags, and our local stores can't. And so they're going to get a definite advantage right there. One of the things that I found really interesting is that Trader Joe's didn't give out plastic bags and didn't charge for paper bags. Guess what? And they're not a member of the Northwest Grocers Association. Guess what the Northwest Grocers Association just made Trader Joe's do? Okay? They made them follow their policy. Okay? And they stated that giving away paper bags is a competitive market advantage. And they're taking that And so they're manipulating the market. So they got twofold gain on this, the Northwest Grocers Association. They got money and they got control. Okay. Now, I have to admit that the city council got blindsided. Okay. And because it was a definite coordinated campaign. Okay. As Wyatt had mentioned, they did an action alert which fired all these emails in. They flooded the council room. They sat on the stockholders committees. Okay. The heads of the Sierra Club, Environment Oregon, and Surfrider were all on the stakeholders committee. All of them were out of town. If you look through the letters, the letters coming in oppose any outside testimony. And yet they're sitting on our committees, trolling committees. So you kind of go, well, they had all the audience, they had all the emails, they were on the committees. So in a lot of ways you gotta say, well, they got blindsided, okay? Because it was a very sophisticated campaign, and it was very organized, okay? But there's some things that kind of give you some insight as to what the council says is the majority that supports this. If you look at the numbers of letters that were sent in by these emails, you get 130 to 140. Opposition, 90-some. Of the 130, and I'm giving full credit to Sierra Club for 130 and 140, because that's actually counting some of the Environment Oregon letters. You get 130 letters, but there are 2,700 members of the Sierra Club in Bend County.
Wow.
Okay? So 130 out of, and they say majority in Corvallis, so if you split that in half, you got what, 1,400 or 1,350 or something? 130 that were willing to push a button on their computer that says that we support, they only got 130. Okay? The Environment Oregon had 30 or 40 letters come in support, and they claim to have 500 members. So you're not even getting a majority or even close to a majority of these clubs members. And when I talk with these members about how they feel about this ordinance, oh, they want to ban the plastic. But they're in dire conflict over the replacement, the tote bags, because they know they're coming from China. They know they create increased emissions, and it totally counterbalances that thin plastic bag that goes into the landfill. Okay. So we want to get rid of that thin plastic bag that goes into the landfill, and we're going to replace it with this thicker, made in China, reusable bag. Eventually, that bag is going to the landfill, and it's going to be 3, 4, 5 times thicker than and it's going to last just as long or longer. Okay? So the whole process with this ordinance doesn't make sense. Okay? And the city council will not discuss it. They'll discuss the business portion of it because they want to take care of their business support. But citizens who are objecting are whiners, complainers, and abusers of the environment. And that's how they look at it. Okay? And so that's the part that...
Don't take it too far, man.
Okay.
So,
You have a
So we
question?
have one more for Bruce.
Okay.
Were you going to talk about the petition, Bruce?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I just have a very, I thought I would read my button. I just bought this button, so I put my glasses on. Government's first duty is to protect the people. not run their lives. Ronald Reagan said that.
Lots of people say that.
Okay, we have petitions. What I would like to ask is, we had one at the entrance. I don't know if any of you, all of you saw it, but anybody who is a resident of Corvallis and a registered voter, please sign the petition if you like. The whole point is we want to make the people of Corvallis choose. If they want to ban plastic bags, good. They should have the choice. This is too controversial a subject to not give them the choice. If they want to not ban the plastic bags, they should have that choice. And we are offering that with our petition. We still need about 2,000 signatures. And we're going to start the blitz now.
But again, just like this gentleman said, it's more a marketing area. It's not just Corvallis. Like this gentleman
Right.
comes from Columbus, so maybe the petition should be,
Well, we can't do the petition that way. That's beyond the scope. It has to be at Corvallis.
Make sure it
Oh,
says
okay.
City of Corvallis.
Yeah, it has to be the city of Corvallis.
Because I'm in Corvallis, but I can't.
And there's one thing that makes it a little bit more difficult too, is that, and this, I didn't learn about this until I went down to the voter registration, is that the college is added into this, right? But when I went in and asked for some forms to sign up for people for voter registration, they said, you gotta be really careful with the college kids. Because they're registered, their addresses are two different locations. And so if you don't get both locations and find out where specifically they're registered, your petition, you're.
Has everybody, let's have a show of hands. Does anybody had a chance to sign the petition? Does anybody want to sign the
It
petition?
hasn't hit a check.
How's that?
I think everybody maybe just about did. Did you?
Okay.
Can we take some of those?
You can have as many of these as you want, and would it be all right if they turn them into your store? And you turn them into Donna Bella, because everybody knows where her store is, because
I have that question.
I always hang out at Donna Bella, you know.